Hey everybody, Rob Goody here, the MLM Solution, and I want to welcome you to today's broadcast. Today is Thursday of well, it's 25th. Today's Thursday, February 25th. Lost my train of thought there for a moment. It's hard to believe that February is almost over, right at the tip of the turning point for February. Oh my gosh, Monday I think is the 1st of March. Hard to believe. All right, anyway. Guys, today we're going to be talking about an important subject. You would not think that this would be an important subject. Podcast number 137, private versus publicly traded network marketing companies. What kind of impact is that going to have on your decision whether to join them or not? And on your success, ultimately your success with that company? Well, you can have more than you realize. In other words, more of an impact, both positive and negative. You do not want to miss it as we take a deep dive into this subject so that you can understand whether a company is worth joining or not, and whether it's publicly traded or not. With that being said, we hope that you will share our podcast and our platforms with our fellow network marketers across the globe. You can do that by utilizing hashtag the MLM Solution, hashtag the MLM Solution. Also, go to our website, themlmsolution.net, and hit the share button there as well. As you know, we depend on you guys to help us get the word out to our fellow network marketers all across the globe. With that being said, I'm going to hop off of here. We will see you very shortly.
Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Goody.
Happy Thursday there, Miss Marie.
Good morning, Rob. How are you today?
I'm fine. February 25th. Hard to believe. Guys, it's February 25th, Thursday, February 25th. The month's almost over. It's currently 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. As you guys know, each and every day we go live on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. And today's topic is private versus publicly traded network marketing companies. We're going to take a deep dive in why you need to know that information, what kind of impact it's going to have on your business, both good and bad. This is episode number 137. Miss Marie, we're racing towards number 200. It won't be long before we're there.
So you keep telling me. And we are getting closer, slowly but surely.
It seems like yesterday it was number 100, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
We made a big deal out of number 50. You dressed all up and everything. And you know what? It seemed like from 50 on to 100 was that quick. Now, Here we are. It won't be long. We'll be up to episode number 150. I don't know if we'll celebrate that one or not. 200 is a milestone. So, but you know what? We're picking up momentum. We're picking up people. We're picking up an audience. Obviously, we're having an impact. And obviously, people enjoy the content and what we're doing. So with that being said, it is a great thing that we're doing this. Not only do we have fun, we know we're making a difference, and that's awesome. So with that being said, guys, tomorrow, as you know, is Freelance Friday. That's tomorrow's subject. As you can see in the ticker, for all of you on the podcast, tomorrow is Freelance Friday. It's going to be episode number 42. That also dates us.
True.
So, and it's hard to believe as well. Well, it won't be long. We'll be up on that magical 50 episode of, well, I guess we'll do something special for that too. All right. With that being said, guys, why would you need to know whether to join a private or publicly traded company? What kind of impact? Why would you even care? Those are great questions and something that you guys need to know about. And we're going to be talking about it. It's obviously going to impact your decision on a newer company than it will an older company. We'll talk in great detail why that is so. Miss Marie, you have anything to add before we get started?
Well, the only thing I wanted to mention is this week, our past couple episodes in particular, we've been talking about kind of focusing on the network marketing companies themselves, right? We've talked about the fact that timing is everything, that you're looking to get engaged with a new company if you want to make that legacy level wealth building business going, way big. And then yesterday we talked about the fact that, well, what if you're in a company that's not brand new, that's not in that hyper growth curve, and how to deal with that. And it just kind of also led me to think about, well, what about the difference between private companies versus publicly traded companies? Because some people, I know when I've been recruited into network marketing companies, there have been arguments made on both sides. And I thought we could talk about, well, is one really better than the other? And what are the advantages of one versus the other? Because I've been pitched on the fact that, hey, this is a private company and it's owned by these individuals and they're so high quality and this is their experience in business and this is what they want to do. So that's why this company's the best versus, oh, join this company. It's been around so long, it's established, it's publicly traded. So that proves it's, not a scam. And it's like, well, I don't know. I think there are publicly traded companies out there that are a little questionable with their ethics and things. So
I agree. Good point.
Is that really a selling point or not? So I thought it would be an interesting topic to talk about today. I don't know how often people focus on that when they're thinking about joining a network marketing company. Some people may be in a company and they may not even know the answer as to whether their company is a private company or publicly traded.
Yeah, I agree. Well said. And once again, she's the one that set up all the subject matter for the week, and she has done a great job because this is a topic that most people would not even think would be an issue. And she gave some great examples in that intro, how she was approached to, hey, this is a publicly traded or privately owned, whatever the case may be in that situation, company, and they would talk about the pros of why you would want to join a company like that. And so there's some examples right there of why this show needs to be done. And we're going to obviously touch on that subject matter ourselves. So, Miss Maria, am I jumping around? Is my stream pretty steady?
As far as I can tell, you're fine.
Okay, yours is jumping all over the place. So we may have to ask you to repeat yourself a couple of times because yours is very choppy. So with that being said, hopefully the roofers over there are not messing with your internet.
No, they're nowhere near the internet box. They're on the other side of the street. So,
well, I'm being silly, obviously. So it's really CIA agents hiding as roofers so that they can spy on you, Miss Marie.
Could be.
Because you're doing such illegal activity. You're a spy.
I am a high value target, yes.
There you go. All right. With that being said, our wonderful government. All right. So with that being said, we have an interesting topic for today. Once again, it's not a topic many people would choose as a discussion because of the fact that on the surface, it seems like, well, this is really not relevant. Well, no, it's very relevant. Let me give it an example. A lot of times with a new company, it has little funding. Every once in a blue moon, new companies will have adequate, not always great, but adequate funding. Miss Marie, a lot of times they'll go to these angel companies, they call them, or angel individuals, they're investors. It's just another word for investors. And I was with one company that got funding for 10 years, and that's highly unusual. I think the situation was that those owners who founded the network marketing company put a lot of their own cash up front, and also their reputation and their experience had a lot to do with that 10-year funding, and their product was very unique. So I think what the total package they brought to the table made these individuals feel very confident that they were going to get their money back. And as you know, Miss Marie, typically these angel investment companies and individuals, they have millions to throw away. And guys, believe it or not, these people can use it as a tax write-off. If Miss Marie and I were worth $100 million a piece and we wanted to help our fellow entrepreneurs, we would go in and we would probably donate $3 to $5 million a year to a corporation, an investment corporation, that's set up as what they call an angel corporation, which really empowers entrepreneurs. If Miss Marie and I were wanting to start a network marketing company and we had a certain amount of money of our own, but we needed more funding, you could go to these capital venturists who would, once again, donate money or invest money into a corporation that they started, where Miss Marie and I could walk in the physical doors and apply for for funding for our venture. Okay, so there's the picture. Now, that is a privately held company. Miss Marie and I own this new network marketing company. We do not in any way, shape, or form have anybody else to answer to but ourselves. So all the important decisions, all the great things that are to happen in the future, and all the bad things that could happen in the future rest squarely on our shoulders. On the other hand, if you had public funding, meaning that Miss Marie and I took our own money, started our own network marketing company, but we decided we were going to offer stocks and bonds right out of the gate to raise money instead of going to an angel investment firm or individuals. Guess what? Based on what we do and how we set it up, this could become a publicly traded company. Now, that typically doesn't happen until it's down the road. Okay. For instance, Facebook, or Fakebook, as I call it, when it first started, was a privately held company. And then I think Miss Marie was around, 3 to 4 years, and then it finally went public. Okay. Same thing with Tweety, I think. I'm giving some examples of companies that people are typically familiar with. They were private companies in the beginning and then became publicly traded companies, meaning that you answer to the stockholders. They become your boss, which influences Miss Marie a lot of decisions on comp plans, products, things of that nature. There's a lot of times where the actual owners, if you and I own the company, our hands are tied because the board, who represents pretty much the investors, in other words, the stockholders, can hand tie you and I and say, no, you can't do that. That is a social issue, and that can reflect negatively on us. So no, you cannot bring that product to market, or no, you can't make that adjustment. So the future of the company is no longer in our hands, right?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. And that's one of those things that I'd have to say I was involved with a company. I mean, my experience with private versus public in a personal way comes from the corporate world. Mm-hmm. I worked for Kohl's department stores back in the 80s when they actually did a management buyout. Back in 1986, I want to say it was. Okay. So it was a privately held company. And about 5 or 6 years later, they decided to take it public. And there was definitely a shift in the corporate culture as that change was made, because now that locus of control changed, right? You no longer had the CEO, the president, the director levels making the decisions for the company. Now the CEO was subject to a board of directors when it's publicly traded, who have the shareholder interests at heart rather than whatever may have been driving the company before. If it was customer service that was going to be the focus, customers were the number one stakeholder that they were interested in. Now it's no longer that, it's the shareholders who are the number one stakeholder. So things definitely change. You can definitely feel a difference between the two. And one of the things that I will say most relevant from a network marketing perspective, especially in the context of the conversations we've been having this week, is the fact that we've been talking about timing and where the wealth building really comes in a network marketing company. And I don't know of any network marketing company that has started and within the first couple of years has become a publicly traded company. They're always privately held until there's kind of a proven track record, right? Until that growth phase has been established and sometimes already peaked and gone through before it becomes publicly traded.
Right.
So that can be a decision marker depending on what you're looking for in your network marketing experience.
Right. And excuse me, that was a great example, your personal experience there, what we're talking about. Guys, look, here's the thing. If you were the private company, let's say it's a new company that's starting out, we all talked about this week, the volatility that comes with a new company, the uncertainty that comes with that. We also talked about the rewards, which can be immense, and both personally and financially. And catching the lightning in the bottle, as her and I call it, is another added bonus. In other words, the satisfaction that's saying, hey, I did it. I caught the right company at the right time, and lightning in a bottle happened for me, and man, it dramatically changed my life. Well, that can happen in a privately held company where the owners, in this example, Miss Marie and I, the network marketing company, are free to make the decisions that are necessary to keep the company on track as far as growth goes, okay? There may be adjustments necessary in the ingredients of the product. We can make that decision. There may be a decision on when we need to do expansion and where. We can make that decision. There may be decisions that need to be made in regards to adding new product and what the ingredients are going to be in that new product, how we're going to market it. We make those decisions, okay? When it's a publicly traded company, a lot of those decisions are taken out of your hands because they want tight reins on the value of that stock, and they don't want you to take any steps that could potentially damage the reputation of the company, the product, or their stock value. And so there's a lot of hoops that you have to jump through when a company is publicly traded. Now, what's the advantages of you joining either or of one of those type of companies? Well, obviously, we just made some examples in regards to a privately held company. There's so many advantages that it's really, there's not enough time in this episode to go through all those advantages, but they're numerous and they can be immense, okay? Personally, a privately held company is the way that I prefer to go, Ms. Marie. I do not want somebody else imposing their will or putting limitations on what I can do and what kind of activity I can take. Obviously, I'm going to stay within the bounds of the bylaws of the company, but you get my point. Because a publicly held company could say, well, we don't want the distributors to be able to do this or to say that, or, you know, they can pretty much dictate what can and cannot happen. Now, I'm not saying that all publicly traded companies have stockholders that are that involved, but Ms. Marie, it only takes one majority stakeholder to become a fly on the ointment, okay? And the thing is that you do not want to put yourself in a position where that could happen. Now, for instance, Amway, I believe at one time, Amway was a publicly traded company. I know they went down that route. I can't speak for New Skin. I want to say yes as well. I could be wrong because they had a ticker. New Skins was NU, if I'm not mistaken. Amway's, I think it was AY. I could be mistaken on both of those tickers, but I know they were there. If I'm not mistaken, at one time I bought New Skin stock. I don't think I have it anymore. So the point is, I know at one time both of those companies were in fact publicly traded. I think New Skin went back to private, but there again, I should not say those things because I did not do research in advance. Because I'll be honest with you, I didn't think I was going to talk about them in that detail. But regardless, whoever is listening to this episode, they could do their homework, find out. But the thing is, guys, is that both of those, Miss Marie, even though they were publicly traded at the time that I was with them, had no problems, you know. But stakeholders are different today, okay? And that's not true in every case. I know that Herbalife went through all kinds of challenges, and they're a publicly traded company as well. And I know that that was messy. That was ugly, especially when Mark died. And for all of you that don't know, Mark, the founder of New Skin, he started New Skin, Herbalife. I don't know if you remember, Miss Marie, but he was in his 20s when he started Herbalife. If you don't know that story, look for books on relating to Herbalife. Wow, just an interesting story for that young man to have the vision, and he started it on a shoestring too. That's true entrepreneurship. The story of New Skin, Amway, and Herbalife are worth reading. They are just like in Sam Walton's of Walfart. I like Sam Walton. I'm a big fan of Sam Walton. Not a big fan of Walfart, but that's another story. The thing is that the entrepreneurial desire of these people, Miss Marie, was just amazing. Against all odds, these guys. And the story of Mark and Herbalife, and including his death, which was premature and shocking to everyone. And his poor wife went through all kinds of heck after he died. Very interesting story. And they didn't think that she would be able to navigate all that mess. They were pretty much predicting that Herbalife was going to go out of business. Of course, it didn't. It continues to move on. Kudos to her. Okay. To be put on that spot in a major situation and after a loss of a husband and having a multi-million-dollar company and no experience, Miss Marie. She was an entrepreneur just like him, and boy, she stepped right in and fought all those guys. Kudos to her. That took some big balls, and I'm glad that she stood up. So anyway, the thing is that if I had a preference, Miss Marie, and I want to hear yours, I would choose a private held company if I was going back in the industry today, because I don't want the limitations or the potential problems. I say that only because most of it's over the years, Miss Marie, stockholders have gotten emboldened. They realize what they can and cannot control. That's the reason why I say that.
Well, I think that's fair. And it's one of those where if you have a choice when joining a company today, if it's a publicly traded company already, you know exactly what you're going to get.
That's right. There you go.
If it's a privately traded company, there's going to be a little bit more risk involved. And let's even assume it's a privately traded company that's been around for a while. So it's established, it's not in that high risk first, 3 to 5 years of existence. Even if it's existed beyond that, I think being with a privately traded company, there's definitely advantages, and it would be my choice to go that way. But then the minor risk that you run is that at some point, the ownership of that company is going to want to make it publicly traded. They're going to want to take it public for whatever reason. And of course, that's usually driven by cash. But typically what's going to happen is you're going to see some significant changes happen in that transition, either because they're preparing to take the company public or because the company has become publicly traded.
Yep.
And oftentimes where those changes take place, where from a distributor perspective, it really hits us, is in the wallet, right? It's the changes to the compensation plan. Because what are shareholders typically looking to do? They're looking to maximize profit and performance.
That's right.
And where's one of the cost-cutting measures going to be? It's like, well, why are we paying out so much money to the distributors? We need to scale that back. And I've seen this on several occasions, and I've questioned, some of the companies I've been with, I've questioned whether they were trying to go public and were making compensation plan changes or what was around it. But the company will always couch it in terms that, hey, we're making these changes to benefit the distributors. And not a lot of distributors are going to do the homework and really dig into it to see what the difference is and how it's going to impact them financially, right? But oftentimes it's not always in the distributor's best interests, unfortunately. No. So that's the main thing, that transition time. And even going back to my personal experience working at Kohl's, that transition time as they were getting ready to go public, you could feel the changes. And personally, I didn't like them. And I ended up leaving the company right before they went public because I didn't like the direction it was going anymore. Yeah. So, time to make a change. So that can force some interesting decisions. And this isn't a topic that comes up a whole lot in discussions about network marketing. I don't know that anyone else talks about this. It's not something that happens real frequently and impactful whole lot of people. But it's one of those aspects of the industry that's out there. And because we like to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly, however you'd like to categorize this particular topic, kind of felt like it needed to be talked about.
Yeah. And, you know, on top of that, Miss Marie, when you have, let's say you and I started a network marketing company, we had it private, and you and I decide we're going to retire. And our kids in the background have decided amongst themselves, without us knowing it, that, they decided, hey, yeah, we're going to take it over. But hey, they're focused on money. They don't have that connection that you and I have, that we're for the people, we're for the distributors, we're for providing the best opportunity we can in network marketing. And you and I, everything we do is focused on providing that to the people, right? But here's the thing. Our kids don't look at it that way. They don't have that connection with the force. You know, they're all about the money. And they see, well, you know what? Those two really cheated themselves. They could have made another $150 million, $200 million a year if they'd have gone public, you know? And so they don't say anything. And all of a sudden you and I retire and they take it public because they want that money. And without realizing what they've done. And they essentially have turned the control of the company and the future of the company over to stockholders. And as you know, Miss Marie, it takes a lot of money to buy that back. You got to build up a large reserve, because the more valuable you make the money, the more valuable the stock is. If you go to buy it back, there's a lot of, you're going to have some stockholders going to say, no, I'm not selling my stock. No, you know what? I'm going to reel this on to my kids and my kids and my kids and my kids. And my gosh, Miss Marie, you may never get all that stock back. So it's opened up a can of worms that could be really ugly. Okay. And why do I say that, guys? Look, you may join a private company and it may go public when the owners or the founders decide to step away. And that may be unbeknownst to them. And is that a reason for you to jump ship right then? No. If you've built a sizable and sustainable business, if it goes into the hands of someone else, whether it's other family members or someone else, guys, you just got to stick around and see what kind of changes they make. Because as she said, sometimes they're going to hit the comp plan. Okay. And they will disguise it as something else. There is no doubt. They're not going to come out and say what they're doing. That's just not the way companies operate. And remember that sometimes lightning in a bottle only happens once in a lifetime. Even if you're young, you could be 20-something years old. In today's network marketing environment, as we talk about all the time, and I don't like doing it, Miss Marie, because they'll say, oh, those old people. Oh, he's talking about the old times. But guys, as I said, and if you're your first time listening to us, Miss Marie and I were fortunate enough to grow up in the golden age of network marketing in the 80s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. I was not a part of network marketing in the 70s. I was not. But that was the golden era, Miss Marie, 70s leading into the 80s. And then they really hit its stride in the 80s, the whole decade of the 80s, and then in the early 90s. So Miss Marie and I have fond memories of that, meaning that you could go from one company to the other and have a realistic chance, and the odds were greatly in your number that you could catch lightning in a bottle more than once, okay? In today's networking environment, it may not be the case. The point is, if you're with a company and you spent the time and effort of building a really nice business that's sustaining you and your family at a high level, and it goes public, Miss Marie, would you agree that I would hold on for a while and see what changes come, if any, to see what's happening before I make a jump? Because I don't know if I'm going to be able to replicate that success again or not.
Well, potentially. Of course, that's all driven by the level of success you're currently experiencing, your level of satisfaction with your business at the time. You know, we've talked before about the fact that, you know, oftentimes people get involved in network marketing companies not really understanding how the industry works. And this type of transition could be the impetus to look for that lightning in a bottle, the new company that's really going to launch. Now that you know how things work, you have the 5 simple steps, you have the music to the ears message, you have the knowledge to really take a shot at it if you can find the right company.
Yeah.
So it really depends on the personal situation for sure.
It does. It does. And the thing is, guys, if we were going to summarize this, here's the thing. It's a personal choice whether you're going to join a private company or publicly traded company. If you're going to ask our professional opinion and our expert opinion, I'm not going to speak for Miss Marie. I'm going to advocate for the private, because I want my future dictated by me and other fellow entrepreneurs, meaning the owners and the founders, who also have the entrepreneurial spirit and want that freedom to make decisions that are necessary not only for the company, but for the distributor force as well. Now, that doesn't guarantee that people like, now Miss Marie and I are honest with people with integrity. And that's not always the case with people that start network marketing companies. Once again, you have to keep your ears open and your eyes open onto what could possibly be going on. Miss Marie, I've been in a situation, I'm not going to drag this out. I was with this one company, had real promise. It was actually doing very good. We saw some telltale signs with the two people that started the network. They were former distributors, did very well, took their money, because it's very easy to start a network marketing company, Miss Marie. You and I could do that very quickly. And it's relatively inexpensive. I mean, it's going to take a lot of money. I'm not going to make it sound like it's, $1,000 venture. Okay. You could, it's a miracle, but you could. But the point is, it's going to take money. And the thing is that they started this company, and there were some things that were coming out. You know how things are, Miss Marie. You live in a neighborhood and you hear things, and you're not sure whether to believe it or not. And then as time goes along, like time always does, it proves those things you hear either true or not. Well, that's what happened here. And before we knew it, the company was out of business. And as we look back, you could see where these telltale signs were in fact true. And if we were smart, we would have acted on them sooner. Okay. But the point is that the people that start network marketing companies are not as always as honest as we would like. Basically, they were just using this to line their pockets, Miss Marie, for the rest of their life, is what I'm saying. And they closed the door on the distributors. So with that being said, there's no way to be able to know that, guys. You have to go into a private company, because the private, in my opinion, has many more advantages and offers me a greater future, a brighter future with a privately held network marketing company versus a public traded company that is not an old established company. And let me just clarify that real quick. Amway, Nu Skin, Herbalife, if they're still publicly traded companies, they've been around a long time. They're very stable. There's very little interaction between the stockholders and the companies, meaning that I think you could sink your teeth into those particular older companies, Miss Marie, and do well. That's not always true with publicly traded companies. So that's my preference. I would prefer, if somebody was going to say, Rob, which one would you join? I would tell them privately held. Yes, it's a lot more volatile, a lot of uncertainty, but I'm willing to accept that risk for the freedom aspect of it.
Well, and from an entrepreneurial standpoint, I would definitely have to agree, because again, that's the whole reason we typically go into business for ourselves, right? Because we're tired of somebody else making the decisions. We're tired of being driven in a direction we don't necessarily want to go. So, I will admit to being a control freak, and having a privately held company has more control involved with it, right? Yes. So that would definitely be my preference. But again, on the flip side, like you said, if it's an established publicly traded network marketing company, you have much more stability there. You know what you're getting into. That's the compensation plan probably hasn't changed for a while. It probably will not change for a while. Their methods of training and doing business are probably established and aren't going to change a whole lot. The volatility isn't going to be the same. But again, it's that risk-reward ratio. Less risk, less reward. Not to say that you can't be successful and earn a good income, but again, for my bang for the buck, I'm going to go with the privately held company where I have a little bit more freedom, flexibility, and opportunity for larger gains.
That's right. I agree with that 100%. And Miss Marie, As an entrepreneur, I know that there's always a risk, and I'm willing to accept that risk. I know there's uncertainty. I'm willing to accept that. I know that it could change on a dime. I'm willing to accept that because I know the rewards. Okay. And the worst that could happen, Miss Marie, is it closes its door, which means I can go someplace else and start over. It doesn't mean that life ends at that moment. So the worst case scenario for me personally, is not that big a deal. Okay. I prefer that not happen because I've had it happen. But the thing is that it's not the worst thing that can happen. Okay. And I think the rewards now, as I get older, I'll always be a new company person, Miss Marie. That's just me. You know me, I love making money, and I love the excitement of a new company, the uncertainty. There's a certain thing that gets my blood going in that situation. But I will say, as I get older, the older companies are very attractive and very intriguing to me because of the stability. I love the stability aspect of it. I have, as I said yesterday, a fascination and a connection with the older companies, I guess, because you and I were part of that golden era. And so I find myself, as I get older, saying that the stability part of it is very intriguing to me. But because, I don't have the heart and the desire and the energy, Miss Marie, to ride the wave of a younger company nowadays like I used to. It was like the Wild West, and I'm not sure that's what I want to do anymore. And personally, I think it'd be a challenge to build a very successful, not $100,000 a year business. And I'm not knocking that for those of you that may be your goal. That's not what I'm saying. Look, Miss Marie and I have a higher standard for ourselves, not because we're better than you, because we know how to make the business go. And so $100,000, we appreciate that level, but we know we can do better. That's what I'm saying. So with an older company, Miss Marie, if I could build it to a $250,000, $500,000 a year, I'd be pretty excited. Would you not agree?
Oh, absolutely. You start talking numbers like that, lots of people's ears perk up, I'm sure.
Right. But that would be a challenge for you and I with an older company.
Yeah.
Because we have to overcome the stigma. We have to overcome the lack of buzz. There's a lot of challenges that would face you and I versus a new company. It's easy to promote a new company.
Yeah, and it would take longer with an established company. The timeline is different for sure. The
timeline's different. The 90-day mini blast is the same, guys, but the results are different because of what she just said. It just is. But we know that going in. Miss Marie and I would know that going in. Okay. And Miss Marie, I'll be honest with you, I would find just as much satisfaction, and I mean that sincerely, if I was to do that, and versus a new company. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Because a new company, hey, this thing's exploding. All I got to do is be a part of that, and I'm on my way. Okay, and we have the 5 steps. You and I mean, it's a no-brainer. You and I know what we need to do. We just put our head down and start doing it. Okay. With an older company, there's a different mental challenge that comes with that, building a successful business. And I mean a residual income machine that we could count on, not just you and I could go in an old company and be successful for 90 days, 180 days, but to do it where we continue to spill money, that would be a challenge. You know why? Because the buzz is not there. Keeping people, the retention would be the biggest challenge that you and I would face in that situation. Right?
Yeah. I think that's very true. So
yeah. All right. Well, you got anything else to add there, Miss Marie?
I don't. As I mentioned earlier, this is one of those topics you don't really think about when you're in the industry. I don't think anyone else is really talking about it, but just based on kind of the train of thought we've been on with our topics this week, I thought it was worth bringing up and it was just exploring a little bit.
And that was a great topic. I enjoyed talking about it. But it's a relevant topic. As I always say, we're not here to just fill the air with bull crap. You know what? We're going to talk about legitimate issues, and it is a legitimate issue. And I'm glad that we brought it out because a lot of people, Miss Marie, would have never given any thought to this. Yep. And our words could carry a lot of weight. We could hurt a company if you and I were to focus in on a particular company and blah this and blah that, and you and I don't tiptoe around subject matters, but at the same time, we're going to be responsible. And this was one of those topics that people need to know about, and one that we needed to discuss in a forthright manner. Would you not agree?
I absolutely agree.
All right, guys, give us a thumbs up if you like what you hear and you understand the points we're making and you can see value in them. As we always say, that is a immediate way that we know that we're hitting the nail on the head, and we thank you in advance for doing that. Also, if you will, please hit the share, the like, make comments, because once again, the algorithms reward us for putting these videos out. And when you guys interact with these videos, guess what? It helps us to reach more people. We cannot do this on our own. So if you will, go to our YouTube channel, subscribe. You can do that by hitting the subscribe button. On Facebook, you can do the like button and all that. And guys, also when you're on our YouTube channel, hit the little bell twice. That way you get notified when we go live and when we upload new content. Tomorrow is Freelance Friday, episode number 42. Freelance Friday, where we talk anything and everything. Episode number 42 is one of our favorite days that Miss Marie and I enjoy. It's kind of a way to bring in a fitting way into the week, and we're always glad to do that. When we're always surprised ourselves with the content and the direction some of these shows go. And actually, the Freelance Fridays are our most popular episodes, which is kind of disturbing on one hand, but also understandable in another. So
I think people want to check it out because you just never know what you're going to get.
You never know what you're going to get on. We don't even know. We don't even discuss, do we, Miss Marie? We don't talk about it at all. Miss Marie and I, as I told you guys before, we rarely talk. We don't even hardly text each other. She makes a schedule and we show up. That's what we do. Right, Miss Marie?
Pretty much.
So there you go. All right, guys. The MLMsolution.net is our website. March 1st, we'll have a whole new website, and we will start in a different direction. Hashtag the MLM Solution is what you can share as well. That way, our fellow network marketers can use that tag to find us on any of our social media platforms. Miss Marie, with that being said, I think it's time to call it a day. Freelance Friday tomorrow, guys. We'll see you then. We look forward to it. God bless. 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, as always, on our Facebook page and our YouTube channel. You guys take care. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.